Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max.
Welcome, everyone. We are the Geek Patrol, and our microphones don't have a stun setting. I'm Joe Thorderson, here with my friends Brandon Olmstead and Allan Gilbreth, and our buddy Max over there behind the glass. And it is it's summer. We are definitely in the middle of summer.
That's pretty much the only way to describe it.
Weather-wise, and we're also into the. I think all of us are caught up on the first season of the first half of season 2 of the Sandman, and I hope we can at least discuss a little of that because I've watched the episode several times, and I'm actually I'm really digging it, man. So, but
well, I mean, it's a very well-made show based on very well-made source materials that I think we all have a soft spot in our heart for, anyway.
Yeah,
and. Yeah, I'm really kind of sad that this is going to be the end of it.
I guess we'll see, but the way it looks like they're putting this together, it looks like it's going to end organically. Like it looks like they're going to do it right. But
yeah.
So we're going to talk about that. But you guys, once again, I'm throwing something at you guys, and I promise you, I'm not doing this to trigger you. I want, and as a matter of fact, Allan, I want to see. I'm asking a legitimate question. I want to see if there is a scientific answer behind this question. And so don't roll your eyes when I tell you the premise of this.
Can I pre-roll them or post-roll them?
No.
Okay.
Okay. Well, it's post. Okay. By the way, the Cubs have been in first place almost this entire season. Whatever. Take what you want for that.
It's time to choke.
No. Here we go. Okay. But this is something that I do think there is a scientific answer for this. So, okay, I've been sitting on this for 2 weeks, Allan. I didn't bring it up until today. But on the 4th of July, the Cubs played the Cardinals, right?
Right.
They set a record for the Cubs of hitting 8 home runs in this one game.
Right.
And Michael Busch hit 3 home runs in the game. And this is the third time in the Cubs history that a player hit 3 home runs against the Cardinals. And every single time that's happened, it happened on the 4th of July.
Okay.
I don't even know what the odds of that would be statistically.
Getting hit by a lightning while being bit by a shark riding a bear.
That is insane. It's the third time, 3 home runs on the 4th of July against the Cardinals.
Right.
I think there is an actual scientific answer behind this.
The scientific answer is that your MLB is closer to the WWE than you think.
Well, okay, talk to me.
Okay, so I
knew we'd
right,
get going on this. So
okay, so you didn't. You all right? And
I'm open to. I want your answer.
This is also also is it's obviously it happens as well as the NFL. Not so much as in the NBA, but
I think the NBA is totally rigged.
Well,
man,
no, I know.
Okay.
I'm saying there are certain things that happen in sports that there's no way it's a coincidence.
Right.
Whether it be the fates, the gods, the those crazy old ladies from what are the kindly ones?
Oh, the kindly ones. Yeah.
It doesn't matter who it is, but if you notice, whenever our country is in a slump, the Patriots win the Super Bowl.
It's funny you say that because the Cubs won the World Series in 2016, which for most of the year was a very divisive.
It was a very divisive
and a lot
year.
of people felt bad. And I can tell you this: it was the worst year I ever had as a contractor.
And here's the thing: it didn't even matter,
right?
Because the one thing you could hate the Cubs,
right?
But it was one thing to see the curse get broken,
right?
It brought everybody
It was an interesting
together
moment in sports
for just a minute.
Right.
Is this the same idea of if you want to get good music out of a young, promising singer, have him have his heart broken?
Right.
No, that's actually just genuine because trauma creates the best art.
Right. Okay. So, but I think there's several factors at work here,
right.
And whether you want to agree with me or not, out there, folks, the Cubs they are one of the most all-American teams, you could say, in the sense they're in the heart of America. They wear red, white, and blue costumes. I mean. Uniforms.
You can stick with that.
That's
cosplay.
They have one of the most charming baseball stadiums in all of sports, and also they've been around forever, so there's tradition and all that. But this happened on the 4th of July, Allan, against their main rivals, and the odds of this are staggering. But I think the answer lies in collective psychology and the power of our subconscious.
I think the answer lies in the fact you stack the deck.
So you and Brandon are both thinking...
No, I'm going to stack the deck a different way.
Okay, talk to me.
Okay, impossible things constantly happen under derived circumstances, a.k.a. professional baseball is not real. It does not exist in nature. It is a derived activity, and it is a derived activity under very, very restricted conditions. Therefore, you are going to get replications.
Okay,
When
I
you
see your
create,
point. Yeah.
When
Patterns.
you create the event and you create, it can only go certain ways in so many variations, you are going to get replications. So yes, patterns exist. We exist for patterns. We love patterns. We exist as a species probably because we were good at figuring out patterns. Because if you liked salmon or you needed salmon to live and you showed up in July, you died because there weren't any salmon. The pattern is to show up in the fall. So if a bear can figure it out, people figured it out.
Bears are smarter than we are.
Well, we're easy opening snacks to them anyway. So I am going to tell you that these amazing and impossible things, these things that defy all the odds, are not really defying the odds all that well because it is a contrived situation.
All right, you're making me think.
See, I'm going to go back to my, my slightly scripted, athleticism and say, you know what, it's rigged.
I think there's a level. Now you guys are both. See, this is the thing. I'm happy to admit I'm always willing to learn on this show, and you just made both. I sort of agree with both of you guys, and part of it is okay. Well, the 4th of July, when you play baseball on the 4th of July, it's amplified. Like it feels like a bigger deal. It doesn't just feel like one game.
It's
like
America's
it's the 4th
pastime.
of July game, and typically, I feel like when they schedule these games, they're going to want to put rivals together because classic rivalries, and the
That's
Cubs
what we want to see.
and the Cardinals are a classic rivalry.
And because we want to see those rivals, it distracts us from everything else we're doing. Our eyes are on that game.
Right. And so in
so
a way,
it is in a way a scripted situation.
well, and I'm not going to totally disagree with you. I think so we're gonna put all these threads together when we come back here on Geek Tank Radio.
You're listening to Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max. Why did RoboCop just walk into the studio? The Geek Patrol is back.
And welcome back to Geek Tank Radio, everybody. I'm Joe Thorderson here with my friends Brandon Olmstead and Allan Gilbreth and our buddy Max over there behind the glass. And it's important to recap quickly if you're just tuning into Geek Tank. Occasionally we will discuss sports, and of course I'm going to mention the Cubs.
Because let's just be honest, there's really nothing geekier than sports fans. I'm sorry, guys.
It's true. And the reason I mentioned it is because I think I was looking for a scientific answer, and we're staying strictly on science. We're not getting cosmic here or looking mythical. I pointed out that on the 4th of July, the Cubs Michael Busch hit 3 home runs against the Cardinals. And this is the 3rd time in Cubs history that a player hit 3 home runs against the Cardinals. And every single time it happened on the 4th of July. I thought at first, I'm like, wow, this is some cosmic accident or some. But now we're learning about statistics. See, I was going to human psychology, but you guys are making me think more clinically about this. And
Joe, the truth is though, what will what is more psychologically altering to your mindset than when someone tells you the stats?
But see, I don't know that anybody was going into the game thinking about this.
No, they're not. They're really not. But the fact that they will give you the the batter's stats, the pitcher's stats, and all this stuff, and they will twist it in a way, or I don't want to say twist because it's not subterfuge, but they will put it out there in a way so you're thinking, if this guy hits a home run, it's amazing. He hits the home run, it's amazing. Your mind is going to keep that in your in the back. And when he does it again, and then a 3rd time in that same game, you're like, this is amazing. There's no way this could happen. And then you find out it's happened twice before during a game against their rival on the 4th of July.
Well, and you go, wow, what are the odds? But then you start thinking about it. Okay, well, the Cubs are going to play the Cardinals probably maybe 3 or 4 series the entire year. Okay, well, and they always schedule the 4th of July games to be they feel bigger than a normal game, so obviously they're going to schedule them against a team like the Cardinals. So now you're already narrowing the odds that you're going to play them during the 4th of July.
Brandon's correct in the fact that the conditions of the game are scripted.
I
It is
don't like the word scripting.
It is scripted because you signed a contract that these two teams are going to play. That's a script.
Okay.
It's like, unlike with WWE and AEW and TNA and them, it's not predetermined, but it's scripted. The only thing that's improv is the ending.
Huh. I wonder how many people are yelling at their radio disagreeing with us now. Because you can't script the whole. You can't say, okay, Michael, go hit 3 home runs today.
I was going to say, no.
But you can make the conditions
But we
favorable.
know that he can hit 3 home runs.
And there's more likely than not coming up to what is going to be a huge game because it's the 4th of July game. They're going up against their rival. Who do you think got more time at batting practice this week? And whose arm got saved?
Okay.
And who went to bed early knowing this is a great, big, important game? And who? All right, you are correct, Joe.
It's
there
all
is a psychological component.
Yeah.
B, Brandon is correct because the conditions under which this is happening is scripted.
Yeah.
I am correct in the simple fact that I'm going to go back to quote Samuel Clemens when he, as Mark Twain, said the lovely words, "Figures never lie, but liars sure can figure." Because it is
we have
all
done that in our history,
how we present it.
Well, it's whatever the nature of it is. It's kind of cool as a Cubs fan because this happens on my favorite holiday of the year with my favorite team, of all time. And like I said, I think they're a very all-American team.
So you
red,
feel
white,
like
and
a
blue.
croissant, you've been good and warmed and buttered up.
Yeah,
all right.
I don't know, man.
Now me and Allan are going to hit you with a bunch of TV shows you need to start watching.
Okay.
Because that was our plan for this before you decided to get into the geekiest of subjects.
And folks, if you're a sports fan out there and you pick on nerds and geeks and all that, son, you better go look in the mirror.
Yeah,
I'm geekiest of the
especially if
bunch.
you play fantasy
I'm
football.
going to say this. If you've got a fantasy league where it's football, basketball, baseball, I don't care if you're doing fantasy cricket. You are nerdier than the nerdiest Dungeons & Dragons player.
Oh, yeah. But
guess what? You dressed up, too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just find the numerical stuff super interesting because we talked about this when they won the World Series. They won after 108 year hiatus, which there's 108 stitches on a baseball. There was all these numerical connections to them winning it, which was interesting to me.
You can find those facts in any situation you want.
Yeah,
you will find stuff. Everybody loves comparing the Kennedy assassination to the Lincoln assassination.
And there's a lot of lineups.
Yeah.
And guys, this is our world. Now, if you really want your mind blown, get into the world of fluid probabilities.
Oh, I do that every day. All right, what's fluid probability?
We don't want to talk about your bathroom breaks, Joe. That's not what this is about.
All right,
I'm not talking about a bidet here, baby. I'm talking about, all right, you dropped a hammer and it hit you on the toe. Now, you play for me all of the probabilities that arrange that event.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You had to have the right hammer. You had to have some reason that it slipped.
To quote a certain movie about matrices and stuff, here's what would really bake your brain. Would you have broke it if I hadn't told you?
Oh, yeah. Like when Professor Trelawney told Neville he was going to drop a teacup and he dropped it. Well, did he drop it because it was now pre-programmed into his mind, or what probability led you to this point? What got you right here, right now, at this exact point, at that moment? We call that manifesting these days, right?
Yeah, but
that's sort of
those in the elder generations will refer to it as a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, it makes sense. You put the idea in there. It's like, and we say that all the, my daughter says that all the time. Don't put that out in the universe, because
I think I've yelled at you at MCFC meetings to stop putting things out in the ether.
Yeah, exactly. So, there is something to that, and I believe in the power of our
guys,
psychology.
I can't tell you the number of times Joe has said something, and then I will get a submission to programming where someone who hasn't talked to us in a year or two has, hey, I want to do this. Insert Joe's idea here.
Yeah.
And then Joe's like, well, I told you people wanted this. No.
Unless the algorithms are, and our phones are
Well,
spying
I mean, our
on
phones
us,
are listening to us.
Well, everything's listening to us.
Okay, well, I thought that was a cool conversation. But when we come back, we're going to talk about Sandman Season 2.
You're listening to Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max. The Geek Patrol is back.
I realized at that time I was born of two fathers, Elias and Mega Weapon.
And welcome back to Geek Tank Radio, everybody. I'm Joe Thorderson here with my friends Brandon Olmstead and Allan Gilbreth and our buddy Max over there behind the glass. And I just want to say, in a minute, we're going to talk about Sandman Season 2. Brandon, I just want to say really quick, though, the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention is going to be November 1st. We're basically taking a full weekend of activity and cramming it into a 15-hour, one-day event, which I'm actually excited about because we're going back to the Memphis Hilton. But you made a very good post the other day that I think is worthy of saying here.
I did?
Yeah, on our Facebook page.
What did I write? I mean,
well, you made the observation that you said, because you run our programming, and you said that because of the fact
because of how much space we've got at the Hilton, the fact that I can put more programming into one 15-hour day than I could all of last year at the former venue.
Right.
Or actually, it's probably the biggest and most open space we've had since the last time we were at the Hilton.
It is. And we have the ballroom set up for our main programs. It's going to be great. And so I just want people to understand we're doing this it's a calculated thing. We're doing this in a beautiful venue, and it's going to be a huge celebration for our 15th anniversary. So I just want people to know that. And so we're still looking for some panel ideas for
absolutely. If you've got something, shoot us a message at memphiscfc@gmail.com. And we'll get you taken care of.
Yeah, but it's going to be big, and we have more announcements. We're hoping to make a really big one next week, but it's going to be activity based. There's going to be a lot happening.
There's
at the
so
convention.
many people who we're finalizing things with. It almost feels like we're negotiating for the venue again.
Yeah,
it's like I want to talk about this. I can't talk about it until everything's locked in. It's like
But it's exciting. The Hilton is beautiful, folks, and you can book a discounted hotel room if you go to our website. You get a really good room rate of $161.
And if you've got any of our little postcards from this year or the last two, scan that QR code. It'll take you to our new link tree, and our room rate link is directly on the top of that.
There you go. So, all right. Well, you guys, I didn't even look at Allan. Is everyone up to date on the Sandman? We don't want to do a lot of spoilers, but the Sandman Season 2 came out. And it's funny. I guess you have to sort of overlook the faults of the creator of this show, but
you're gonna give spoilers to a show that has been fairly close to the source material, which the source material is over 20 years old. I think it's okay.
It's like closer. It's getting almost to 40 years old. It's not that.
As long as you're past the 2-decade mark, you can spoil whatever you need to.
All right. Well, I mean, I like a lot of what's happening here, and it's actually amazingly close to the source material. They've taken a few storylines and combined. There's some that just for the sake of time they're combining them, but it's actually from the comic. So,
well, this is what happens when you've got well thought out source material, an interesting concept. All right, we locked up Dream for a century.
Yeah.
All right, now he's loose. There you go. There's your concept. Pick that ball up and run with it.
We did that last year.
What if there was an entity that his job was he's in charge of every dream of every creature in the universe? Well, that's a pretty big universe you can work with. And that's just one character.
That's a lot to play with. Let's go get some motivated actors that are at least passingly familiar with the material.
Yeah.
Because nobody looks miscast. Just pointing out, nobody looks miscast.
Everybody I like Delirium, the actress that's playing her.
Yeah. Everybody looks the part, acts the part, walks the part. It doesn't look like anybody phoned it in. I mean, it's just a clean, solid performance all the way across the board.
It looks expensive, though, man.
And that's why
Is that why
why we were only getting 2 seasons. Is it is extremely expensive.
You would think the second season they'd cut corners, but I'm like, this looks like they spent 3 or 4 times the money that.
Yeah, they doubled down.
I know a lot of it's CGI, but not all of it.
No.
And if it is, it's well done. The costumes are awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I think they went and really caught a wyvern for, to be at the gates, but,
Well, the thing about the Sandman that's interesting to me is because, I mean, like I said, don't get your theology from the Sandman, but the idea is that you take characters that have existed since the beginning of time, and they're going to exist till the end of time. Well, and they encompass all of time and space, so you literally have no limits to whatever stories you want to tell.
yeah. Hence the endless.
Yeah, the endless, exactly. And how would they interact if they were real characters?
And it kind of makes me think the way that they interact. It makes me think of the way that you hear about, like in Greek mythology, like the gods are imperfect in the mythos, and these endless act like they're godly, but they're actually imperfect and more human than they think.
Right. And how is it that destruction is the most likable of all of them?
I have a question related to destruction.
Okay.
I'm wondering, Allan, what the phrase "are not light and gross bodies interconvertible" means.
Yeah, because he was very hung up on that. Newton said that, right?
Indeed. Well,
And he saw that as the end of our civilization.
Let's break it down in the fact that Newton was catching on to the idea that nothing can be created and nothing can be destroyed. Its form can be changed. Now, how you change that form is up to you.
Oh.
Hence the fact that destruction can walk away from his responsibility because his concept truly doesn't exist.
Wait a minute. So he is not.
His
Destruction would suggest eliminating something. He is changing something.
right.
Is that the idea?
And that's the thing.
He is the penultimate death card. The death
what
card
you're
does
saying
not
doesn't-
mean the end.
Right.
It means
transformation.
change.
transformation.
It means change. So if you burn a tree, is the tree gone?
Oh, no, because it's
The tree's energy
Smoke
has
and
been released
charred
as
and-
heat and light, and now you have smoke and char
Matter
and
can
ash.
neither be
And,
created nor destroyed.
Now
all
think about
things are still in balance.
But this is
Thus,
what made him want to
destruction.
leave
But
his,
now think
his
about
realm, though.
Think about it. It's nothing is gone. Nothing is truly destroyed, but he is being blamed for it. Now imagine if you're having a crisis of self,
Yeah.
you walk away because you know that what you're doing while people say you have a mission is not necessary.
It's one of the great things about the show. It raises a lot of philosophical conversations, and we'll continue the conversation when we come back here on Geek Tank Radio.
You're listening to Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max. The Geek Patrol is back.
Also, they told me you guys look like dorks.
They look like dorks. I'm gonna. Oh boy.
And welcome back to Geek Tank Radio, everybody. I'm Joe Thorderson here with my friends Brandon Olmsted and Allan Gilbreth and our buddy Max over there behind the glass. And we're talking about Sandman Season 2. We're dealing with a little bit of spoilers. If you're not familiar with the Sandman comics and, the source material, they do stick pretty close to the source material. But you kind of got to be in the know about Sandman to maybe get the most out of this conversation. So, read up on it
Sorry
if you
about
don't
that,
know.
guys.
But you guys, we're talking about one thing I love about the series is how philosophical it gets. For one thing, they're not cutting corners with the budget, with the acting. I like the writing. I like really everything I'm seeing so far.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because these characters, the way that they are endless, they don't die, but yet they're flawed, like Max said. And we keep talking about destruction. And Allan, you said something that never even occurred to me, that he's not destroying anything. He's changing them. But then again, because his concern is all about splitting the atom, somehow out of that Newtonian phrase of are not light and gross bodies interconvertible, he deduced that we're about to split the atom, create atomic bombs, and wipe ourselves out.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, that's a pretty big, I don't know. It's that's a pretty big leap, but even if you did that, you're not technically destroying, right? You're transforming.
The fact that you may be the transformation may be from the corporeal to the energetic, which is irreversible. But the simple fact is, Joe, you are made of stardust. Right now, standing right here, you are made of things that came from space.
Well, I mean, that's what's interesting about the universe. It's physical. We are a physical, and yet there's energy and, I don't know. Don't look at me that way. I like the notion that a comic book gets you thinking about this stuff, because I was thinking these things when I read the comics back in the day.
Well, how about the fact that a comic book was used to portray classic thought?
Yeah.
He has no idea what you mean.
No, I mean, classic thought, you're talking about the philosopher. Because in the Sandman comics, you get Greek philosophy, you get Shakespeare, you get
Neil stole from the best.
Right.
You literally get a devil's advocate.
Yeah. Well, I do have a question, though. So, so one of the episodes is called The Song of Orpheus, and I guess, and they stick pretty close to the Greek mythology, although in the Greek mythology, I don't know that Orpheus was the son of Dream, but whatever. But, Brandon, that song, I've played that 100 times. That song has really hooked me. I love that. It's only about 2 minutes long, but it's the song Orpheus sings to Hades and Persephone to ask them to release Eurydice out of and it's a really interesting song. And I'm wondering, because isn't the power of Orpheus to hypnotize and transform, or like he can get you to think what he wants by singing, right?
Yeah, he is the power of persuasion.
Well, that song, whoever wrote it, I'm like, I can't listen to it enough. I just keep playing it over and over, and I love it. So,
man, we're gonna have an endless room instead of the piranha room now. Oh my god!
I have another question then.
Well, I'm just curious about that.
Was the love that Eurydice felt for Orpheus genuine? Because if he has the power of persuasion, was she just persuaded to love him?
Oh, now here we go. Did he trick her or something? And he's kind of
because Hades even said, "You don't know about love." Mm-hmm. So maybe he knew. Maybe he kind of called Orpheus out on his BS.
Because Orpheus is really flawed. I mean, he's an idiot, really, when you think about. Look what he did. Look what he subjected himself to.
Right.
Okay.
And he didn't take.
Does that make him an idiot or?
Okay, well, he's impulsive for sure.
Okay,
well, if he's a teenager, his brain isn't fully developed.
Well, Alan, you made a point.
I know some people over 50 whose brains aren't fully developed.
Okay. Well, anyway, I just thought it was interesting because the art. Well,
and Max makes a damn good point, because we never know if that was because of his innate power.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe she was just like
Well,
hypnotized by his song.
To quote Merlin, how does one defend oneself against a crime you've been guilty of committing your entire life?
Wait, what? That's an interesting statement. So.
Well, how do you separate the talent, if the talent is persuasion, from reality? This person really likes you, or did you really persuade this person to really like you?
In the long run, even if it was you did something that persuaded her.
Oh, okay. So you're a great. Okay, That's interesting. So like you.
It's the same trappings that modern love sees all the time.
I was gonna say, yeah. Okay.
It also makes me think of this ancient tale from like Celtic mythology called Diarmuid, where he has this birthmark that enchants women from the beginning, and so it's like, if that seems like a classic trope, that is what you're doing love, or is it just because of something you're cursed with?
See, to me, the fact that we're even talking about this, and the fact that I can't stop listening to this song, just shows me how well this show's being produced. Mm-hmm. Because this could have been a really hokey scene. This could have been really corny and like you'd roll your eyes, but yet I'm listening. I'm like, gosh, this music's awesome. It's really making me want to hear it again.
It's not often you hear something in Greek as opposed to like Latin, and I'm wondering if it's actually like Koine Greek or Attic Greek as opposed to modern Greek.
Yeah, because he sings it in Greek. I don't know. But I'm really looking forward to the second half of the. When does it come out next week?
Yeah, the 24th.
Okay, all right. Well, I think it's great, man. But is there a character that stands out for any of you guys? I mean, I do like Delirium.
Right now, it's definitely Delirium. And the Prodigal has his moments as well, especially when it's just him and Barnabas.
What's interesting to me though is if Desire or any of, I mean, the dynamic between Dream and Delirium is pretty interesting because they're very different, but it actually really works. Like I always liked that comic where they were traveling together, and I mean, I'll give them credit; they're sticking to the source material, which doesn't always happen these days. So,
nowadays it's like, all right, this is technically important to the plot, but it won't sell to audiences. So we're going to rip this out, and then people go, "There's a plot hole here." It's because things got cut that you should have seen.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm glad it's happening. I guess it makes sense that it's going to be the final season. But, we only got 2 seasons out of Andor, and it worked. So, but you guys, we got to get out of here. The show's over. So until next week, we are the Geek Patrol, and I am Joe Thorderson.
I'm Allan Gilbreth.
I'm Maximilian.
And I am Brandon Olmstead, hoping we transformed your Sunday into something slightly more entertaining.